Thanks for joining. We are in day number 22, and today we are going to learn about APIs. Now, API is a big topic. Application Programming Interface is a big topic, and we need at least we need 10 to 15 hours to understand APIs, their use case, their programming integration, and all. It's a big topic. It's an ongoing big topic, means you can learn, use, update. Like that means you can learn one API, two API, their integration with programming languages, and later on you can enhance, you can go and check other APIs, their integration, other APIs, their integration. It's like that. One good thing about API is this, that nowadays API, they are being used everywhere. So if we have SDN type of infra, for example, Cisco SD-WAN that we have, there we have vManage. vManage, we can integrate with APIs and we can run programs. Likewise, Cisco DNA, that is also SDN product. There also it can be integrated and we can go and do all sort of stuffs. Then we have Cisco ACI. There also we can go and do the programming with respect to APIs. Now, so if we go and check the evolution of API, we know that we, as a network engineers, we have started our journey with CLI. We are doing the router configurations, switches configuration, everything from the CLI. Then down the road somewhere we met GUI, because CLI, when we are doing with the configuration with respect to CLI, we have to memorize so many steps, so many CLI commands. Sometimes it's very big. So then what different vendors has done, they have introduced GUI. In GUI, you have workflow defined. That means you go there, click there, go there, click there, go there, click there, like that. Workflows are defined. So once someone will go and learn GUI, it will be easier to learn GUI than the CLI. That means CLI, in terms of learning, understanding the workflow, it is easier. The GUI, learning the workflow and the steps and the process, it is easier than the CLI. CLI, it's actually very difficult to do everything. So that's why we have GUI. Now you will see that GUI also have some limitation. First of all, GUI, they are lacking intelligence. GUI, they are not intelligent. That means we can't program GUI. GUI is just that whatever you can do from the CLI, you can go and do from the GUI in some other fashion. But it's not that you can go and program the GUI like some robot or something, some bot or something that will go and do all the steps. And it's I can't say that it's impossible, but it's not feasible. So that's why we have something called API, Application Programming Interfaces. Now API, as name suggests, application, that means it is running over application layer. It's lightweight. It can be transferred from anywhere to anywhere. Unlike CLI, you know that CLI, that they have to log in via port 22 or any other defined port, and then you can go and do the configuration. And CLI, they are very much restricted. Restricted in sense that their area is restricted. You are logging to the devices and then you are running the CLI configuration. On other hand, APIs, they do not have restrictions. Restriction means from one SDN, we can go and execute same type of API to thousands of devices at the same time. Now here you can ask one thing, that can't we create some Python program, shell scripting, and do the same thing with the CLI? The answer is yes, we can do, but still those programs are very complex. And since it is CLI oriented, so first time when you are authenticating to any of the device, you have to accept some sort of security keys, etc. That is actually not the case in the API, because API also we have to go and validate or trust the certificate, etc. But that can be automated in nice fashion. That is actually very difficult to do from the CLI So people, they move from CLI programming to the API programming, because API program is actually easy to write, easy to execute. Everything is easy in terms of API. And APIs, what is API? API is just a programming interface. It's a machine to machine interaction. That means that input, so you can think like this, output of one API can be input for the other API, and then you have some other nested output. So output, again, the output of one API. So let me try to draw here so you will understand clearly. Let me clean this. So, oh, come on. So what I'm telling, that suppose if you are using API to configure your devices and all, so what is happening here is this, that the output of one API can be input of other API, then again output so input, and then after that input you have obviously the output. So output again will be the input for the others, and that list can go long and long and long. So what we are doing, suppose we have something called authentication API. So we are authenticating and we are getting the token. So suppose token got generated, you have trusted the certificate. Then that particular token you will go and use for task one. Suppose you want to create the list of devices. You want to see OMP. You want to see BFD sessions, OMP peers, like that. So first of all, you are authenticating the system. Once you get authenticated, then that authentication input can be used for the output of any other OMP or BFD session or any type of other session. So that means that good capability we have with the API is this, that input can be output, output can be input, etc., etc. Means you can nest these APIs to get some common results, to get some bigger output. Like that, these APIs are working because these are very much machine to machine interaction. All right, so let's learn more about these APIs and use and other things. And then by the end of this session, I will show you the program use of API, and you will see how easy that some of the output you can get from the programs. It is actually difficult to get from the CLI, get from the GUI with the same speed that we'll get from the API. Okay, so we are talking about a RESTful API, representational state transfer. And you can see that our vManage, we can go and integrate with any third-party API machines or orchestrator tools from where we can go and do the programming and all. So it's there, but actually in vManage itself, we have all those APIs that is called Swagger. So we have something Swagger interface. I will show you after 10-15 minutes in vManage, and from where we can go and do all sort of things. We will see that few of the examples. But what we can do, that if we have some Linux PC or maybe Windows as well, today I'm going to show you with my same system we are doing the training. I will go and execute the API based script and you'll see the result. So Windows or Linux, any PC where we have the Python programmer, Python interpreter install, Python engine is there. From there, we'll go and execute the API to the vManage, and then we can see the result. Actually, we can do each and everything from the API that we can do from the CLI or the vManage GUI. All the methods are there. What are the things we can do? Everything: certificate management, configuration, inventory, monitoring, real time, troubleshooting. Why we can do this? Because these APIs are very much similar like we are doing the web browsing. So how it is happening when you are doing the web browsing, when you are opening any particular website, at that time we are using something called get method. That means we want some data. Get means, and these are the methods for the API. Actually, these are the methods for HTTP based API or HTTPS based APIs. Get, put, post, delete. Now, get is something in Cisco like show command. Put, you can see clearly here, it is telling that update an object. In terms of programming language, update an object, post means create an object, delete means remove an object. Post is something that you are creating something. For example, if you want to create the templates, device templates, policies, then we have to go and use this post method. Now suppose over one interface IP address is 1.2. You want to change it to 1.3. Then you can go and use the update method. Delete means simply you want to delete something. Suppose over the interface I want to delete the IP address. So then in that case we can go and use the delete. Simply remove that. Get means the show command. So these four methods. The question here is this: do we have only these four methods? Answer is no. These are the four basic methods that we have. We have other methods as well, like patch and others as well. These are the four most used methods within the REST API, HTTP or HTTPS based REST APIs. Great. Can we see this? Yes, I'm going to show you after 10-15 minutes about these get, put, post, delete, and all those methods. And there are some theory. You can go and have a look on these theory. Point here is this, that whatever things that we can do from our CLI, we can do from the GUI as well. Now, what I will do, I will go and log in to the vManage API doc. So you can see the URL for vManage API doc. You have to give the IP, port, and this keyword API docs, and then you can see the Swagger interface. So let me see if I can go and I can show you that. Let's log into the vManage dashboard, and then we will go to the Swagger interface. So here you can see that we have our vManage, but if you want to access the API doc, then what you need to do, let me go and open one more browser. So you need to give the URL like this, and then slash and API docs. So if you give this, press enter, you'll see the Swagger interface will come. It's loading. And now you can see that we manage API version and all. Now if everything is inside server data services, and you can see that what you want audit log, you want to check cluster, co-location, configuration, Azure Connect. For everything, we have these defined definitions. So we have configuration related APIs, then you will see monitor related APIs, then you will see troubleshooting related APIs, all sort of APIs we have. Let me quickly show you one example related to monitoring the control or data plane. So once we are here inside the monitoring, and suppose I want to see this BFT. Open this. Once you open this, then you can see get method. That means very much like show command, post, get, post, and likewise you will see some delete as well here, because this is the monitoring thing, monitoring API. So that's why it is not showing you delete. But if you go to configuration, you will see delete, put, those methods as well. So what do we want? Just click here to the BFD and this blue color item, and then parameters will come. It will ask you at least what site ID you want to see that. If it is there as an input, we can go and give. Otherwise, if you click try it out, and if you see 200, actually 200 means that API is successful. There are different type of codes related to API execution. 200 is good. Actually, 200 series is good rather than 200. If you see 300, 400, 500, that means some error. So now you can see here the result, and it is showing this result actually is in the JSON format. There are different methods that you can get the output, JSON, XML, etc. Here it is only JSON. So you can see the result related to BFT. It is telling. Now, as a programmer, what we can do more here is this, that this result, if suppose if want only 4 fields, if I just wanted to see the latency and loss, then I can filter this result from this output, and then I can display only those output in the final output. Because if you go and see this particular result, it seems very, it's like too much data, and I don't want this much data. It's actually called a dump. It's a JSON dump. So the output is something like it will give you all those information related to BFT. But you want only 4 or 3 areas in that, then you can go and filter and then print in the Python tables or any type of table, pretty tables, different type of functions there in the Python. So this is a Swagger interface. The question here is this, that can we run this in the web browser as well? So answer is yes, we can go and run this API in the web browser as well. So let me see the methods if we have. So here we have, oops. So what I'm telling you will understand. So statistics BFD. If we go to our slide, you will see that the method is starting with, I'll show that. So you can see HTTPS 198.168.110 data service, and then device, and then you can give this method. This is actually one of the API call, but this is just the output. What I can say here is this. Let me quickly explain you, then I will show the results. So what I'm telling, that suppose you want to see this show orchestrator output in CLI. So what is the API equivalence for this CLI? The API equivalence is this particular API, where starting with data service, device, orchestrator, connection, and then this is something called query. Whenever you are typing question mark, that means you are doing query. So we are looking for this particular IP orchestration output. Okay, it's still a little bit confused and understand. So let me show you some easy example. Some easy example related to routing and all. Yeah, so this is one of the easy example. For example, we know that in our data center, OSPF is running. So if I want to see that OSPF interface or OSPF database related to device ID, I can go and use this. So what does it mean? Let me quickly go and copy this API and let me show you the result output for this. So let's go here, copy this. Let's go to this place. If I have notepad, let me go and open the notepad. Oh, here it is, notepad. Let's try to construct this API in the proper manner. So here you can see this is the URL, but we know that the device I am looking for, device ID is one of the data center 10101. That's the system IP for that particular VH. And then the IP address for our vManage is 198.168.1.10. And this is one of the query API. And now if you go here, click this and enter. So you will see that it will go and generate the database information for the device. This, you can see this is the dump, right? It's a complete dump information we have. From this we can go and filter the output that we want to print. Now in Chrome it is showing like this, but if you go to the Firefox, let me show you the output in the Mozilla Firefox. Mozilla Firefox, they have some plugins related to APIs. So there you will see nice formatted output in terms of JSON, and related to this particular output, it will show you some of the headers and some of the key fields as well, that from the from the browser itself we can go and filter it. But again, first of all, we have to go and log into the vManage. So I need to go and open the vManage here. Let's go and log in. Yeah, first time it will take some time here, but once we log in, then it will be faster. We're trying to log in here. Let me type the username and the password. Yeah, admin and password. Now we are logged in. Meanwhile, I can go and paste the same API, and then you will see the output here in the Mozilla. And you can see that, close this. Let me increase the font size. So now it is telling us the header information, the key, and then you can see this information related to columns. So if I then fields, now data, this actually data field we want. So we want the OSPF information for this particular site, this particular VH 10101. This is DC1 VH1. So it is telling that area 0, link type, data, device name, DC1 VH1, and then you can see the information in 0. One of the neighbor is the DC1 VH2, then DC1. Like that, you have this database information, right? Now it's little bit better than this particular output we have seen in the Chrome in the junk format. But still, the idea here is this, that whatever key areas you have in the API, with the programming knowledge, you can go and filter those key areas and you can print only those things, right? So there are, in this PPT, you can see there are so many different APIs that you can go and verify, test it. What I want to show you here is this, the API integration with the Python language. So I will go and share with you the script as well. You can see that I have one script. Most of the part in this particular code that you will see is actually the repetition. So suppose if you know that how you can go and get the BFT information, same way you can go and get the OSPF information, you can go and get the certificate information, you can go and get the data information, IPsec information. It's like that. That means that if you know that that particular API, what's the use of that particular API, then you can take that API, put inside the code, and you can get whatever result you want. So first portion of this particular script you can see is like calling the package, just start the program. Then you can see that we are importing time function, the request function, sys, JSON, click. These are just the programming packages we have. Then we are negating the certificate error here. And then we have to go and put the environment information, means from where you want to run your script. You have to go and use some export and import, etc. I'm going to show you that. So what I have done, just for help purpose, if you are running this program first time and suppose your vmanage IP is different, username is different, password is different, so it will tell you some sort of hint that, oh, first export and give these information and then you can run the API. Now you can see that from here the API class is starting. So we are defining, so whatever environment variable we will set, such as SD-WAN IP, username, password, it will be called here. So once the script will know that what is the username and the password, you can see this is just when you are logging to the vmanage, these things are happening in the back, and this is the login data. You can see login data. Now if you want to print the login data, I can go here and do print the login data. So I can go and print, so you will see what is the information related to this login data. Then the URL, we are constructing the URL. Why this URL is important? Because later on you will see that the URL you have, that URL, so API, your API is URL plus some more information. So what I'm telling here is this, that you can see that to run the API, you need the URL and then you need data service and then the API information. So if you go and check any of the API, for example, device list, with this particular function program, we want to see the list of devices. So what API we are using, you can see this is the API we are using here, that the vmanage IP data service and slash device. This is the API we are using, but we are using with the URL. So in this program, where is this API? We have the API integrated here, because till this line, all the construction, everything is defined on top. And that's the beauty about this programming language, that you can define something and you can use dot and then something and then dot, then something, means within the function you are calling other function, within that function you are calling other function, like that, right? So if we go and run this particular API, it will go and give you the list of devices in this particular SD-WAN. The SD-WAN, how many devices SD-WAN is managing, if it is 4,000, 10,000, whatever, this will go and list all those devices. So let's run this. So this Visual Studio Code, I can go here, bottom, and let me make some space so you can see. Earlier I was checking some, oops, earlier I was checking something, so that if you can see in the, okay. So now you can see my present working directory. This is where all the codes are there. What I want to run this particular program, whose name is device 1F, and in this program I have created help function as well. If you type help function, then it will tell you that what type of things you can go and check. So I can go and check app route information, ARP information, BFT, control, device list, IP fib information, IPsec, OMP, etc., etc. What I want to check the device list. So here I can go and do this device list. Now behind the scene, API will get called, and that API can give you, so let me show you actually what we are querying. If I go here and simply if I remove these lines, First, I will show you the JSON dump, and from that JSON dump, I will go and show you the output. So we are going to run this result data service slash device. If you go and run this particular API, and we are doing some get method, you will see this dump you will get, right? Now from this dump, what I have done in the program, so let me quickly show you the program as well before running it. So I'm going to run the first program, that is device list. This is my program name, and in this I will also get the, so this program will get the same dump JSON file, right? JSON output. But in that I am filtering only hostname, device type, device ID, system IP. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Only 7 field from that output, and then I want to print it in the table format. This fancy table you can see, table format, where I want to print only these 7 information for all the devices. So because I want to run for all the devices, that's why you can see that we have one loop here, and then we are doing some sort of error handling. Suppose while running while running this program, if any of the device is unreachable, then what will happen? The Python will generate the error. It will tell I can't run this program. But if you put some error handling exceptions there, that means it will run the program throughout. If some of the devices are unreachable, it will skip that part, and still it will show you the full output. So let's run this. Oops. So here you can see, because this font size is, if you're not able to see this because it is overlapping, but if I can decrease the font size for this terminal. In this, I have added other API as well related to serial and all. So that's why there is other table. But if I go up and somehow if I can decrease this size, so you can see all the output in one shot. So let me quickly check where is the program. All code. If I can do something. CMD. Python.exe. Device 1F and device list. Something was the program. I don't know. Okay, it is asking about set these variables. So that's why it is not running here. Let me try to set the SD-WAN IP 181.10, and then the username admin, and then the password. And if I can go and run that program one more time. Oh, this is not the valid program. So let's go and check the help. And now what is that device list? Oh, oops. This is the program, right? Yeah, now you can see. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We want to filter only these 7 things. And suppose if you are doing, if you have to generate some sort of report, or if you have to send this via the email and all, actually it's very easy that you can go and paste this information. Oops. You can select and copy and paste this information. Oops. And you can send via email and all, right? You can see how good this output is. This, so in program itself, we are selecting only 7 fields. And then in program itself, we are putting all those information in a table, fancy table. And since we have the loop, so it will go and print vManage, then vSmart. So one device at a time. So one device information, then another. Now you can see that if I want this information from CLI or from GUI, it's not possible, right? We can't get this information in this format. And it may be time consuming to get information for vManage and then vSmart and all those things. Nice presentable output you have. Suppose I want to see, you can see the other output as well. I have added actually some more information. That's why it is showing you like this. Suppose if you want to see the control connection, only thing I need to know here is this, that what's the keyword used for control connection? Do I have that? Yeah, control. So if I go and type control, and since I have given print something, so it is coming this. Oops. So you can see the control connection and some other things also I have added in program, some extra information. That's why it is coming there. Then you can see the system IP and other control information, VSCS, DC1, DC2, all those information. And in the bottom, you can see some error came. Why this error is coming? Because I have disabled NetMiko and other thing in the program. So not only that we can, so good thing about this program is this, that you think like this, not only you can integrate with API, but I have added some NetMiko, some old, you can say a relatively older method to do the programming related to devices. So that also I have added there in the code. Right. So actually my main focus was just to show you that how this API is working and integration and all, because if I give you just theoretical information, it will be hard to visualize. But now you can see the result here, that you can go and integrate these APIs with nice, beautiful coding and programs and all. So the value of SDN controllers increases, right? If we are doing everything from the CLI and GUI, it is okay. But you can see now the difference here, that it is in my format. I can custom these outputs in any format, and not only the monitoring thing. We can do configure anything. We can onboard the devices. We can push the policies, push the feature templates, create the feature templates. We can do each and everything that we can do via the CLI and the GUI. You have any question?